Hey guys, it's Ken Scott, Senior U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with www.usentryWaiversServices.com. You guys already know we're going to get you cleared to enter the USA. Today is March, what's the calendar say here? March 22nd, 2025. And here in good old Surrey, British Columbia. All right, guys, so this video is going to be out regarding this story that came out about this woman who was in ICE detention in USA. I forget her name. But anyway, you guys know who I'm talking about. She was in ICE detention, and in fact, you know what? Let me just find her name here quickly. So I say, I was reading this earlier. Yeah, Canadian describes her. Oh my God. Yeah, Jasmine Mooney. Jasmine Mooney. So guys, you want to know what the real deal is with all this stuff? And you guys know we give you the straight truth. We're not gonna give you this BS from these discount waiver companies of these lawyers trying to capitalize off this. Guys, what happens is the fact that me being a former federal officer, former law enforcement officer who was previously posted in Washington State, let me tell you the real deal about this stuff. Anytime a foreign national is entering the USA, period, you're subject to inspection. You're subject to search. Well, really anyone entering the country is subject to search. They handle foreign nationals differently than citizens. So in this case of her being a foreign national, because of the fact that, according to the story, let's go to the facts here. According to the story and my own research, she had a TN visa that got revoked. So then she went, well, that was at the northern border. Then she went to a southern border and tried for another visa. They looked in the system and saw that she already had a prior violation, which she did. That's a fact. She's guilty. Now, they made an example of her at the southern border because the fact that Donald Trump has said to these officers, federal officers, to increase enforcement. In this case, foreign nationals entering the USA, they are under greater scrutiny. So because she had this violation, the first one, and now this other thing happened at the southern border, they got sick and tired of it. So she got an expedited removal and 5-year ban. Now, the part that she's crying about is because she had to go to detention for 2 weeks. Guys, it's in their discretion what they do to you regarding entering the USA having these violations. You guys need to understand just because you're Canadian doesn't give you a free pass. You're still subject to these punitive measures. I want to talk about a case that we have. All I will say is this person entered the USA and this person made false statements, and they verified the fact this person made false statements at the port of entry. Because of that, this person got 2 years in prison. Now, there's more to the story than that, but generally, that's the gist of it. This person made false statements about something. They found out it was false statements, and because of that, they got sick and tired of it. They got 2 years in federal prison in the U.S. That never made the news. A lot of this stuff doesn't make the news, and they talk about all this fentanyl coming into the U.S., whatever, and a lot of the leftist type people are saying it's only a small amount. You don't fucking know how much amount it is. You don't know what's moving across that line. You only know what the media is telling you. But the thing is, there's a lot more stuff going across that line than what you guys are being told about and coming into Canada. So, guys, you really need to stop believing the mainstream media and look at the facts. The fact of the matter is, the girl broke U.S. immigration law. Did she get arrested? Yes. Did she get detained? Yes. Did she get deported? Yes. Is that stuff pleasant? No, it's not pleasant. And I don't wish any ill will on her, but the fact remains she still broke the law and she has to be held accountable. Now, I'm not on CBP's side, but the fact remains she still broke the law, had to be held accountable. I mean, it is what it is. She broke the law. Now, there's more facts to this case. I mean, I'm not privy as to why her TN visa was revoked, but the thing is, her title says Canadian actress. You cannot get a TN visa being a Canadian actress. That's 0% chance. So My guess is she violated the terms of her TN visa, and that's why it got revoked. For them to put actress um, tied in with her, in these news stories, means nothing. And guys, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. And I told this to a client earlier today. Now, if it was someone who did the same violation who looked like me, or like this other gentleman I spoke to earlier, and he's Vietnamese, do you think we would have got the same media exposure? Nope. There is an element of race to this because the thing is, this happens all the time. What about all the Mexicans or people from other countries who've done this and get put in detention? So why is it that she gets all this special exposure and these other people don't? You guys already know the reason why, and I don't have to say it. Like I told the gentleman, he disagreed. He just laughed, said, "Yeah, you're right." It's all politics. Bottom line is, she broke the law, and yeah, they punished her. Were they harsh? Depends on how you define harsh. Was she shot? No. Was she beaten? No. Was she what do you call it when you put the electrodes on someone's body and turn up the juice? Was she tortured like that? No. Was she waterboarded? No. So what happened to her? She got put in a cell with a bunch of other foreign nationals from different parts of the world. And yeah, it sucked. But deal with it. It's done. It's over. You still broke the law. And you still left in one piece. Was she put in solitary confinement for 9 months, like some of these inmates in these state prisons? No. So what's the worst that happened to her? She got her visa application revoked, got arrested, got deported. What if this had been like, say, Russia, China, or Thailand? What do you think would have happened? You break the law over there. You guys have been to Thailand. I've never been there. You guys have been to Thailand, know already. Or the Philippines, you guys know what would have happened. Had a friend of mine, he was in the U.S. Navy, and there was a sailor on the boat. And long story short, the Philippine police took this gentleman, this other sailor, they stripped him naked, they beat his feet with uh I guess batons or whatever, or sticks, asking for the money. And he eventually gave them money, but the way it was described to me, not many marks were left on his body. So they allowed him to get dressed and he left. I don't think that happened to her. I don't think that at all. And that basketball player, they got caught in Russia with all the marijuana or the crumbs or whatever. And she tried to say it's no big thing. That's the same thing. You're entering a foreign country. If you have no status, you are at their mercy. You don't bring narcotics into a foreign country, especially Russia. You don't go to the U.S. and break U.S. immigration law like that and say, okay, well, they just send me home. That's not a guarantee. And that female basketball star, yeah, they eventually released her in a prison exchange. And I can almost guarantee in a Russian prison, she was not treated very well. So for this other person, Miss Mooney, I mean, I'm sorry that happened to you, but you got to admit, you brought it on yourself by breaking the law. And just being Canadian doesn't give you the right to do that. And if she's listening to this now, she may not fully like what I'm saying, but she has to agree that yes, I broke the law, and yes, they imprisoned me temporarily. But did they really abuse me physically? No. Did they inconvenience her? Of course they did. But it is what it is. It's done. So the bottom line is, when you guys go down to that border, you foreign nationals, especially Canadians, you go down to that U.S. border, you really got to watch your ass and watch what you say and do. Because if you don't, there's a good chance you may end up in a similar situation as this girl. And by the way, just because you have a U.S. waiver, guys, doesn't guarantee you entering to the U.S. Right now, what they're doing, they're really scrutinizing even waiver applicants. Some have had their waivers revoked. So one had that waiver revoked here recently, and I think it's unfair. She wasn't one of our clients, but it's kind of unfair how they did it because she really did nothing wrong. So we're going to try to turn that around for her. But as of right now, March, like I said, 22nd, 2025, we are still at a 100% success rate for our waiver applicants. So, anyway, guys, just a bit tired, but I just had to talk about this because I'm just watching the media. I'm watching the BS these lawyers are saying about this stuff. you can't believe half the stuff you see in the media. And don't take my word for it. Ask a CBP officer these questions. Ask a former law enforcement officer these questions. Ask someone who works for the U.S. government these questions. Forget the media. Ask someone who works for the system, used to work for the system, and they're going to pretty much tell you the same thing I'm saying. So, anyway, Ken Scott, Senior U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with www.usentryWaiverServices.com, and that's 888-908-3841 or 604-562-8140. So, guys, bottom line is you go down to that U.S. border, focus, cooperate, don't give these officers any hassle, and none of this is advice. But if you want headaches, do the opposite of what I just said, and then you will definitely get what you deserve. You go down a polite, respectful, kind, obedient, subservient. It'll be a lot better for you. Again, it's not advice. It's just common sense facts, common sense 101. And I'm out.